So this past week I've been mostly doing readings that are kind of illustrating or trying to maybe flesh out or expand a bit a theme of Buddhanusati and that recollection of the Buddha. But kind of expanding it around the aspect of Dhamma as well, because of that, as the Buddha said, one who sees the Dhamma sees me. So that the Buddha is really a manifestation of the principle of the Dhamma, principle of truth. And of course, if one extends it again to those who are practicing Dhamma, and practicing in accordance with Dhamma, is really what the Buddha is pointing to as Sangha. So these traditional refuges of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha are rooted in, grounded in these principles of truth and principles of the teaching and the training that the Buddha has given. But also reflecting on it, that it's, I think one of the reasons why it's so compelling is that that human quality of the Buddha, the historical Buddha, the Buddha as a human being who practiced the teachings, lived the Dhamma, and then brought it into the world. And it's that human quality that makes it so much more inspiring. Because sometimes if it's, and of course that's what Sangha is as well, in the sense of this a collection of human beings, or the possibility for human beings to practice the Dhamma, live according to Dhamma, and and of course, if it's possible for human beings, then that's us, and, which is that's a good possibility, and that. And I think it's really important to that things don't get abstracted too much. One wants to remember this human quality of one of the Buddha, but then also for ourselves as those who are practicing. And seeking the fruits of this practice. So something that comes to mind as just in the Mangala Sutta, the discourse on the highest blessings, one of the lines that comes, I mean, it's in the first verse. Puja pujaniyanam, to honor those worthy of honor. And of course that sense of, I think it's quite natural in the human heart to want to, and puja is like, to honor, to pay homage to respectfully acknowledge. And I think it's quite natural for the human heart to want to give honor to that which is really honorable, and particular, and certainly in terms of if it is, say, a person or persons, it makes it more tangible. But it also applies to, say, the principle of wanting to, to give honor to, and to hold in reverence that which is worthy, and those who are worthy. And I think that's something that modern society doesn't really give us much to pay homage to, or to show reverence, or to honor, or and I think that leaves the heart kind of empty if we live in a way that there's isn't anything that we kind of look up to or want to give some respect, honor, devotion to. Of course it can end up being balanced or diluted, but that's not a blessing, and for it to really bring blessings to our life, then I think it's helpful to be bringing to mind those things which are, and those beings who really are worthy of honor, so worthy of paying homage to. And of course the Buddha is really preeminent in that as a human being, but also the Dhamma as the principle, or the aspect of the possibility of truth in this human existence, which it's easy to opt for cynicism and pessimism, but it doesn't really brighten the heart, and it doesn't really make you happy. Might make you feel satisfied to sort of criticize and tear down others, but it's not really beautiful, and it's not uplifting. So there's this sense of that puja pujaniyanam, to honor those worthy of honor. And which also includes ourselves when we do it right, which isn't necessarily a puffed up narcissistic ploy, but it's to recognize, there's things that go beyond the personal, go beyond the personality, and go beyond the kind of limitation of our human condition of being born, getting old, getting sick, and dying. I mean, that's sort of subject to birth, aging, sickness, and death, but then also, we are subject to our likes and our dislikes, and our preferences, our wanting, our approving, disapproving, and that's that's a limitation that we don't have to believe in, and in fact, when we actually don't believe in it, and honor that which is worthy of honor within our own experience, and within our recognition of what we're actually capable of, it gives us an opportunity to grow beyond or mature beyond our limitations, just the natural limitation of the human condition, because we don't have to. We can acknowledge it and see it clearly, but we don't have to believe in it all the time. And that gives us the possibility of freedom from the human condition, recognizing what the Buddha points to is all that which is possible to be seen, understood, because the Buddha is pointing to, like one of the fundamental tools or templates that he has us investigate is through the lens of the Four Noble Truths, and to be reflecting from the place of, and these Four Noble Truths are experiential. I mean, these are not belief systems, or they are say an experiential approach to our our circumstances. There is dukkha. There is that which is unsatisfactory. There is that which is complicated, difficult, leading to dis-ease, discontent, stress, to dukkha. And there is that. But then also that we reflecting and investigating, well, what is its actual cause? What's its origin? And the Buddha points to the cause of dukkha as being the different forms of of desire, of tanha, that a craving or a thirst, and that thirst for sensual stimulation, gratification, that movement towards the gratification of desire. But then also that thirst for being, becoming, propping up a sense of me, and then trying to shore up that identity, and it can take any form or shape, because even I say becoming, because it goes hand in hand with the vibhava tanha of non-being, not becoming, the negation of being, negation of becoming. Shouldn't be this way. Don't want to be like this, and that and our sense of identity, identification, our sense of being, and there's a thirst for that, and then there's that push to try to. I don't want it. I try. How do I get rid of this? And that push and pull keeps us unsatisfied. It keeps us discontent. It keeps us in a state of dis-ease. And so that the understanding the origin as this very primal movement of the mind, seeking some kind of gratification, whether it's on a sensory or sensual realm, or on the level of being, becoming, identity. And then, so that understanding the origin, and it's the understanding of it, again, not as a judgment of it, but a recognition. This feeling of dis-ease, discontent, dissatisfaction, dukkha, it has a root, it has a cause, and that gives us the opportunity to work towards a resolution of that. Because if you see that clearly, it's like, do I really want to keep repeating this? Do I really want to? Is this? How much more dukkha can I get? It's not something that one is trying to either replicate or to accumulate. It's if it's seen clearly that this is dukkha, then say the appropriate response would be, how do I free the heart from this? How do I bring this to an end? And that's where the Buddha points to the relinquishing of those that tanha, that craving, that thirst, that seeking, that movement of heart, either in the trying to get or trying to get away from. And that relinquishing and being willing to put down, in that sense of, rather than carrying more dukkha, more desire, sort of being willing to set it down. Because even if it's something small, like this, as if this clock, this is not a big clock, it's a little plasticky thing. It's not heavy, it's not that big, but still, if I try to carry this around with me all the time, it's just a hindrance. It's hard to do anything. It's just the appropriate thing. I just put it down, and that's what that putting things down, releasing, relinquishing. In the Pali, that the Buddha's description of that relinquishing, that releasing, that chako patinisako mutti analayo, and that's all sort of alliterative description of the how one relates to that desire process. That chako is to giving up or giving away, giving back. Patinisago, relinquishing. Mutti is like releasing, freedom, to free oneself from. That mutti, that releasing. And analayo is like just not holding to, or not sticking, not allowing things to stick in the mind. So that's this sense of release and relinquishing, letting go, putting it down, not constantly picking more stuff up. That is the path. That is the actual way of experiencing freedom from suffering, freedom from complication. So that as we tend to experiment with that and work with that, and that's what they say. The template of the Four Noble Truths. Again, it's not a belief system, or it's not it's something that we practice with. It's a path of practice, and being able to put this path of practice, a way of training, into effect, so that the cultivation of this path of practice, path of training that the Buddha laid down. Eightfold Path is, but it's covering all of our aspects of body, speech, and mind, our training. So that this template of the Four Noble Truths is it's kind of like a template of seeing things from there. There is this experience. What's its origin? What's its cessation? What it would be the path to its cessation, to its ending, to a place of resolution. And of course that the Buddha uses that template for everything really, because it's like, okay, yes, there is dukkha as an experience of difficulty or dissatisfaction, discontent, but also in terms of Okay, physical body, what the form. What's the origin of form? What's the cessation of form? What's the path leading to cessation of form? It's physical body. Feeling. Oh, what is the origin of feeling? What is it? What is its cessation? What is the path leading to its cessation? Perception, the whole perceptual process. What's its origin? What's its mental formations? The whole range of thought and emotion, positive, negative, exalted, mundane. What's its origin? What's its cessation? What's the path leading to its cessation? Consciousness itself. What is consciousness? Are we actually conscious? What's its origin? What's its cessation? So looking at our experience, and rather than through the lens of our likes and dislikes, our preferences, our worries, our fears, our biases. What is the experience? What is its, or where does it arise from? What's its passing away? What is its, how do we bring this to a place of stillness and cessation? What path can we be cultivating? And so that it's a template to investigate our experience of this human condition, and so the five khandhas, sense bases. What is it? Our experience of our senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. Mind objects themselves. What are their origin? What are their cessation? What's their passing away? Different kinds of just the fundamental root defilements in the mind. And is the kind of what the mind flows out to is the mind flowing out to its different forms of becoming, just ignorance, delusion itself. To the sensory, sensual realm. So that the mind moving. What is it? What's that experience like? Is it satisfying? What does it feel like? What would it, and as a thought experiment, what would it be like to experience the cessation? Its ending, its utter peace, or its utter settling. And again, this sense of what do we want to give honor to, or what do we want to give homage to? So the world is just driven by people giving homage to their views and opinions, and their exalted sense of me, or their pitiful sense of me. At least it's something. But that you think, oh, that's a problem. That is dukkha. And then how can we allow that relinquishment and giving up? And it's not through, I say, it's never going to be through annihilating it, aversion to it, pushing it away. It's honoring that which is really worthy of honor. Recognizing that within the heart there is the possibility of peace, of kind of a brightness of heart, brightness of being. That is, it's intrinsic to the nature of the mind, of the heart. And it gets covered over, it gets obscured, but that's why it's so important to turn attention to that, to honor that puja, to honor that which is worthy of honor. And again, let's see, that's why when there's tangible examples like the Buddha or others who are very clear examples that say that gives an encouragement, but it's also to extent recognize that the Buddha never how do you say, never limited or he said this teaching is for gods and humans. I mean, it's not limited for anybody who wants to practice it, to live it, to bring it into the heart, and say that the nature of his teaching was an open aiko. It's a leading inwards and to be seen for each person for themselves, and to encourage ourselves to keep bringing it into the heart, to keep trying to clarify that seeing. And that can only be done through the practice, through the training, through our experience. And that's why I say that the teachings that the Buddha give, he uses that template of the Four Noble Truths, brings it down to an experiential level rather than a theoretical or just a belief. Also, those Four Noble Truths, the way that the Buddha presented them, another way of looking at it is that in his first discourse, the Four Noble Truths were framed in the sense of the three kind of, in Pali, it's like gitya, the kind of duty or responsibility that one has, so that one has to actually acknowledge or recognize, say the truth as a truth. Oh, this is dukkha, and then this dukkha, this suffering, this experience of dis-ease, is to be known. It's to be understood, and then to be it has been understood, to have brought it in and understood it completely. And that cause of dukkha is to be abandoned, is to be let go of. And so I have abandoned. cessation of dukkha is to be realized, it's to be made real, and then knowing that one has. The path of practice leading to the ending of suffering is to be cultivated, is to be developed, is to be practiced. And then looking at that, it has been done. And so that it's from, again, from the perspective of the Buddhas and I say the language of the later commentarial tradition is this is where the sense of pariyati, patipati, patiweti. There's the how do you say it, the knowledge or the study, what is to be studied, what is to be practiced, what is to be, and that there is a fulfillment, a realization. So that each of these aspects of the truth, to study it, contemplate it, practice with it, and to experience that fulfillment of it. And you see, there's the completeness of the Buddha's teachings. It's such a this is something that's really worthy of honor. And when we say we would give honor to somebody, then there's we take it into the heart. Or especially when it's, say, personified, then it's something we want to emulate. We see somebody, whether it's a historical figure like the Buddha or teachers who we have met and been inspired by, we want to emulate. We want to be like them. I remember that being just one of my very early feeling of meeting Ajahn Chah. So, wow, if that's what happens when you live the Dhamma and practice the Dhamma, yeah, I want to be like that. That's what I'd like to be. And that so that sense, yeah, honoring that, and of course it can't just be, say, empty ritual, empty ceremony, or empty belief. That to truly honor somebody is to do it fully and to do it completely, to put one's heart into the practice. So that we've got this opportunity of being in winter retreat, and just encourage everyone to put your heart into the practice. Offer that for reflection this evening.